Welcome everyone, welcome back again. We got delayed slightly because of some technical issues. So since this is a live program, so there is a production room which takes care of everything that is going on in the studio in terms of the voice quality. The PPT should be available right on time. They telecast that, they remove me and they put the PPT and it comes back. Camera angles, but there is also something called an earth station from where the signal is getting relayed all across the state. So sometimes what happens, because of bandwidth issues, sometimes it buffers. To avoid such technical issue, they had to just look at it. So that's why the delays, my apologies. So let's get started. Today, as expected, the first half we will speak about a bit on financial literacy. Today I'm going to speak about the usage of card in terms of transactions where you don't have an app but you can still use your card. So payment using debit card, you can do it for online shopping as well as payments. Now in case if you are buying something, you can use it for any kind of e-commerce site. I will tell you how to do that. So I have opened one particular product on Amazon.com. So I add it to the cart. I go to the cart and I'm saying proceed to checkout. I can pick any address that I want. Okay, so I'm saying deliver to this address. Now when I say continue, here is where you need to pay attention. I'm going to zoom this up. Here I am choosing net banking because I'm going to pay. Either I can enter my debit card, so I choose my bank, whichever is the bank. Okay, whatever bank I choose, I need to enter the card details, okay, where I'm using the card itself, or I can use net banking. When I click on net banking and I say continue, it will open the bank website. Okay, so I say net banking and I say place your order. See, now it says it's directing me to the website. So here I need to enter my user ID and or customer ID and I continue. This is how I'm buying something online and I'm paying using net banking facility or even debit card facility. In case if I enter debit card, I'll go back to the cart. Now it says the card is empty. I'll just show you the screen how it looks like when I'm using the net banking facility. The first and foremost, net banking, I can use it for fund transfer, I can use it for paying bills, and I can also use it for online shopping like the way I showed you. If I'm using online shopping, I can directly go to the shopping website. If I'm paying bill, I can pay bill from my bank account directly, or I can open the merchant account also. For example, if I am paying electricity bill, I can open the website of Andhra Pradesh Electricity Board and then make a payment. If I have added that bill to my account, it will show in my account. I can just select that particular item and I can pay. I'll show you how to do that. So here's a screenshot, fund transfer. So in case if I have to send money to someone else, his account or her account could be an ICICI account, could be any other bank, doesn't matter. I can do online fund transfer. These are the things which you need to teach people. So I'm using the example of ICICI screen. I enter the user ID and password. Once I do that, I click on login. Once I log in, I will come to this particular screen which will show my account balance and it will show all these functions. Okay. So I access my account after I log in, and here I want to transfer money to someone. So I can click here and I can say fund transfer. I can also say bill payments. Since I want to send money to someone, I click on fund transfer and I come to this particular screen where I choose the category. The recipient or the beneficiary account could be another ICICI, so it could be an ICICI account. So I would say I would pick any other ICICI bank account or your linked ICICI bank account or pocket wallet. Pocket wallet is e-wallet. Say for example, I have two accounts in ICICI. From one account I am transferring to another. So I will pick the first option here, which says your linked ICICI bank account. In case if I am sending amount to someone else who also has an ICICI account, then I will check this. I will click on transfer now if the account is already registered. If it's not registered, I will click on add payee. In case if that account belongs to a different bank, then I will go for the third option, which is an account in any other bank through NEFT, RTGS or IMPS. Basically, it's a electronic fund transfer where the IFSC code is required. Every bank will have an IFSC code. Or any overseas account through Money to World, any mobile number through IMPS using MMID. If the other person has MMID, if the phone number is registered, they will get an MMID, you can use that as well. Or any mobile number using cardless cash withdrawal, I can send it to a mobile number as well. So I choose the category and I say add payee. When I add payee, I am basically adding the beneficiary and confirming. So here step 5, I will enter the account name as it is on the bank account, the way the name is. For example, if the person's name is Srinivas Rao, I can't say Srinu. It has to be Srinivas Rao the way it is showing up on the bank records. That's the first field. Payee nickname is whatever name you choose. Account type could be saving or current account. Payee account number, you need to manually type the account number, you cannot copy paste. You reconfirm the payee account number and IFSC code. Every person who has a bank account will have an IFSC code. The IFSC code will automatically select the branch. Sometimes one particular location may have two branches. You don't know which branch the account belongs to, so you should always ask for IFSC code. So you enter the IFSC code here and you say search, it will search the account, you select that account and you say next. When you say next, you will get an OTP number, one-time password and OTP on your mobile phone. When you enter that number, the account will be registered. This is to ensure that the right person is getting added and the right person is adding the account. Clear? From the time you enter the OTP and register, click on confirm, it takes 30 minutes to have the information updated, which means after 30 minutes you can transfer money. The advantage of net banking fund transfer is it does not have any holiday. It does not have any working hours. You can do these transactions any time of the day, any day of the week, any day of the year or the month. It doesn't have any public holiday. Saturday, Sunday does not apply. Okay, sitting at home you can do this in case if you want to send money. So that's about adding beneficiary and confirming the beneficiary. Now what if you want to pay bills? For example, electricity bill, telephone bill, credit card bills and all that. If you want to pay these bills, what are the steps? So step number 6. Now before we go to step number 6, this is a screen which now that the account is added, after 30 minutes you can pay the person. So what do? You click either NEFT or RTGS, you pick your account and it will also show you how much money you have in your account. From this drop down you can pick who is the beneficiary or to whom you are sending the amount. You enter the amount and you enter remarks. This is for your notes, a comment field as to why are you paying. When you click on next, it will show you a screen where it will ask for the grid number. On the back of the card there will always be a grid number. That grid number, it will ask, for example, the grids will be A, B, C, D. Likewise, under A there will be one number, under B there will be a number, so on and so forth. So the form will show enter the grid number for B, C, D. So whatever number you see on your card, you need to enter. This is to ensure that the right person is using the card, the account holder is using the account. Okay. Once you enter that, the amount will get deducted from your account and it will show up on the other person's account. If it's within ICICI, it happens instantaneously. If it's a different account, it takes like an hour or two, but the amount obviously gets credited. Okay, and once it's paid, it cannot be reversed. So please remember that. So these are the things that you need to teach people, that even if you don't have cash, if you want to send money to someone, you don't have to stand in a queue and do money order, or you don't have to go to the bank and take a demand draft and all that. There are a lot of hospitals which is also taking fund transfers now. So electronic fund transfer, EFT, is the best way and the fastest way. It does not have any kind of limit in terms of working hours or any holidays. It can be done anytime. Now you want to pay online bills. You want to pay for your telephone, you want to pay for electricity, water and all that. So you click on bill payment, and here one bill is already listed. So it says view bill, bills pending for payment, schedule bills on auto pay. Basically you may have certain bills that you want to pay on 6th of every month, so you can schedule it. All right. Next one says pay bill. These are the billers who are already registered. So you basically need to register whoever the billers are. Once you do that, you can pick whom you want to pay. For example, the presented bill to your account is for Southern Power Telangana. This is the electricity bill for the month. Okay. The due date is 12th of September. I just have 2 to 3 days left, so I need to do that quick. It says waiting for acceptance. After I click on accept, it will give me the option of pay. When I say pay, I just need to enter my grid number, my password, and that's it. The work is done. So here is how the screen will look like. Once I accept, it will show me something like this. All right. Now let's move forward. So this is a simple way of using net banking, how you can pay the bills, how you can do fund transfer, and you don't have to limit yourself. For example, there could be certain payments which happens every 3 months. You may remember, you may not remember. For example, LIC premium. So you can schedule it to your account that 5th of every 3 months this amount should get deducted and should be paid to LIC. So you can automate everything, you can schedule it. The reason we are talking about this aspect is because now that we are moving to the cashless economy, it's all the more important that we understand the functions, we understand the benefits. So this slide which I was earlier talking about, so here is the screenshot. Now what I showed you was ICICI, but here there are certain more examples of Punjab National Bank or ICICI Bank or SBI or Andhra Bank. Okay. So those who have bank account, please do ask for internet banking. They will give you an ID and password. There is one ID and password for transaction, there is one ID and password for logging in. So obviously there will be two. So once you adopt this online banking facility, life will be much more simpler. All right. It's easy to use that. You don't have to keep going out. Those who do a lot of shopping online, earlier used to do cash on delivery. Now you don't have cash, but you have money. How do you do that? You follow this process of internet banking, or you can use your debit card as well. Clear? So that's about for this. Tomorrow what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you understand certain more aspect in terms of the UPI payment, the USSD UPI payment that was covered in brief, but tomorrow I will explain in detail. There could be some people in your area who do not have a smartphone, or there could be certain people who do not have internet on their phone. They have a normal feature phone. Can they use such phone for fund transfer? Can they use such phone for banking? Yes, they can. How can they do that? I will show that to you tomorrow. So when you use these facilities, you don't really have to ask for IFSC code. You can send money to someone and you can receive money. So everything happens over the phone, and you don't really need even an internet or a very high-end or basic smartphone or an Android phone also. Because if you have an Android phone or smartphone, you also need mobile internet. There are certain facilities where even the mobile network is not necessary. Clear? So I'll take a very quick short break. We'll come back and we'll get started with Infosys. What I'm going to do today is cover a little bit more on sentence improvement, and I will go very slow, don't worry. Then once I'm done, I will move over to theme detection, which is little complex, but we'll look at that. The lines will also be opened up, so please do call and ask your questions. Meanwhile, I'll try to get the information on how many people have taken the test. If you're finding it difficult to take the mock test, please do let me know. So after the break, the lines will open up. You can call and ask your questions, but we'll do Infosys sentence improvement a little bit as well as theme detection. All right, I'll see you quick. Thank you. Welcome back everyone. Welcome back to the session. So let's get started with sentence improvement. The lines are going to open up now. So please do call and ask your questions. Like yesterday, some of the students called and asked, requested me to go a little slow. That was good feedback that was taken. So today I'm going to go very slow. So please do call. Here the numbers are going to get flashed on the screen very soon. So pick up the phone and call and ask your questions. So while we wait for the call, I'm going to take one or two questions in terms of sentence improvement. Here is the first one. All right, let's go. As there was no time, the remaining items were deferred into the next meeting. As there was no time, the remaining items were deferred into the next meeting. Deferred means postponed. Now the options are items are deferred till, items were deferred till, items were deferred to, items had deferred with, no correction required. The hint that I am going to give you is the sentence is not correct. Obviously, there is a mistake. We need to correct it. Now, what is the problem? When I have a word which is deferred, I cannot defer into something. I deferred till something. Till means till when it's going to happen, till when it's been postponed. Okay. So, the correct answer is not were deferred into, it has to be till. So, I have either option A or option B because both these options have the last word as till. Now, the only difference between A and B is A is are and B is were. What is the difference? Are is present tense, were is past tense. If you look at the first part of the sentence, it says as there was no meeting, sorry, no time. As there was no time, there was is past tense. If my first part of the sentence is past tense, I need to carry the past tense ahead, right? So, I will use were because were is the past tense of was. Are is the past tense of is. Okay. So, there were deferred, I'll read that again. As there was no time, the remaining items were deferred till the next meeting. It was postponed, it was deferred till the next meeting. I will use option B because it's not deferred into, it's deferred till, and I will use were because it's a past tense of was. All right. Next, the man who had committed such a serious crime must get the mostly severe punishment. When I say mostly, it's a different word. There is a difference between most and mostly. Mostly means probably or most probable. Okay. Now, probability is different, certainty is different, probabilities may or may not. Okay. So, mostly for example, when somebody is asking, are you going to attend the wedding, and I will say mostly I will, that means most likely I will. Okay. So, that is the meaning of the word mostly, and that does not fit into the question. Let us read the question again. The man who has committed such a serious crime must get the mostly severe punishment. Mostly is incorrect word. I need to improve it. What are the options? Must be getting mostly severely. It cannot be must be getting because must be getting is present continuous tense. Okay. Must get the most severe. Have got the most severely. Now, have got means already got, but here I am stating he should get. Have been getting means continuously he is getting it. That is also not correct. So, C and D are not grammatically correct. It is talking about a different tense form. B is the correct answer because it says the man who has committed such a serious crime must get the most severe punishment. We got a call. Good evening. Cut IND. Okay, that means it got disconnected. All right, let's go forward. So, we say crime must get the most severe punishment because it must get. We can't say mostly severe, it's most severe. Next question. For many centuries in Indian history, there was no city so famous like the city of Ujjain. Where is Ujjain? In Madhya Pradesh. For many centuries in India, for many centuries in Indian history, there was no city so famous like the city of Ujjain. Here I am comparing, okay, when I am comparing two different degrees, which is most famous, I can't use the word like, I need to use as. Okay, do we have a call? Okay, I need to use as. For example, I say here, for many centuries in Indian history, there was no city so famous as the city of Ujjain. When I say like, that means equal, or I am just giving an example, but here I am comparing, not an example, I am comparing, that is why I will use as. For example, the training is as effective as any other training, or the training is not as effective as a classroom training. I am using the word as. The training is not, or the training may not be as effective as a classroom training. Or I can say the training is not as effective like a classroom training. No, when I am saying like, I am just matching both, but here I am doing something else. I am comparing that which one is better. That is why I will use the term as. Clear? Moving on to the next question for you. We don't know how did the thief made an escape. We don't know how did the thief made an escape. The options are, we don't know how the thief did make an escape. We don't know how the thief does make an escape. Does means it happens continuously or present tense. We don't know how the thief made an escape, or we don't know how was the thief made. And when I say how was the thief made, that means you are making a thief. For example, we don't know how was this phone made. That means I am making a phone. But here the thief is making an escape. He is escaping from the prison or wherever he was. Okay. So let's look at the question again. We don't know how did the thief made an escape. Now the underlined part that you see here, did the thief made, this itself has a grammatical error. The error is when I have the word did, which is a past tense of do, my verb which is made should be present tense. I will quickly tell you what it means. Just a moment. Okay. So if I have the did form, I will okay. Wherever I use a did form, or wherever I use the word did, I'll make it little better. Yes, this is better. Verb should always be present tense. For example, I did go to the market. I can't say I did went to the market. So if I say I did, my verb should be present tense. So go is a present tense. I did eat my lunch. Present tense. If I use the word did, it will, the next verb, lunch on time. So I can't say I did ate. Likewise, if I use a negative form, I didn't go. I don't say I didn't went. This is not valid. So if it's positive did or negative didn't or did not, my verb will always be present tense. No, let's have the slide. I'm explaining and typing. So my verb will always be present tense. For example, I didn't eat. I won't say I didn't eat. Okay. For example, I didn't sleep. I cannot say I didn't slept. Alright. I didn't come. I can't say I didn't came. I should say I didn't think so. I can't say I didn't thought so. That's a rule. Okay. So please remember, wherever I have the did positive or didn't negative, my verb should always be past tense. That's a rule. Okay. The verb will always be past tense. Now let's look at the question now. We don't know how did the thief make an escape. Since I am using did, I will use make. But do I have that option? Did the thief make? No. So what I will do? I will remove this did. I will pick option number 3. I will say we don't know how the thief made an escape. Since I am not using did, I can continue with the past tense of made. Alright. I hope that is understandable. Next question. Later he became unpopular because he tried to lord it on his followers. Lord it on means you force people to follow what you say. You don't listen to them, but you basically force them, like the lord, like in court we say, my lord, please listen to me. To the judge means you follow whatever the leader says. So the question says, later he became unpopular because he tried to lord it on his followers. So do you lord it on your followers or you lord it over? Lord it over. These are all prepositions. You need to understand what preposition should be used in what context. So the correct option is C. Later he became unpopular because he tried to lord it over his followers. Okay. That's the correct answer. You don't lord it on, you lord it over. That's an example of right or wrong preposition usage. Next, the crops are dying, it must not had rained. Why are the crops dying? Because it did not rain. Now you are saying it must not have rained because you are making an observation of something in the past tense. Clear? So the crops are dying, it must not had rained. The correct option is the must not have rained. When I am using must not, the crops are dying, it's dying now because in the past it did not rain. Can I choose option A, must had not rained? No, the placement is incorrect. Must not be rained, not be cannot be used because grammatically it's incorrect. It must not have rained. The reason you will use have because it happened in the past. Had is an incorrect form. Have is the correct form given the context of the rain. Okay. Next, the courts are actively to safeguard the interest and the rights of the poor. I hope that is right in this country right now. So the courts are actively to safeguard the interest and the rights of the poor. If you look at the question itself, are actively to safeguard. Now this red words, 4 words itself is grammatically incorrect. When do I use actively? Actively is an adverb. Active is an adjective. Actively is an adverb. I will tell you the option and then I will explain it point by point so that it's easy. So I can either say the courts are working actively to safeguard, or I cannot say are actively, no, the courts are active. Okay, the courts have been actively safeguarding. So I just use have been because they have been actively safeguarding. This is the verb. Okay, this is a verb in continuous format, the present continuous format, and that's why I say the courts have been actively safeguarding the interest and the rights of the poor. I can't say the courts are actively. I can't say that because actively what? Actively for nothing. It's nothing is mentioned. The courts have to active. Let's have the slide, please. The courts have to active in safeguarding. Have to what? Have to work actively. So when I just have the word active without any context, it does not carry any meaning. So I'll quickly tell you what do I mean by this. Let me change the alignment. So what I have is, let me take a new one. This will be easier for me to explain to you. In terms of parts of speech, I have adverb, I have adjective. So let me take adjective first, it will be easier for me to explain to you. Adjective is basically qualifies noun, adverb qualifies verb. It's as simple as that. This already has been covered for all of you. Okay, if you did not attend, go back to YouTube and look for the video. What do I mean by adjective? It qualifies noun. For example, let's have the slide, please. What do I mean by qualifies noun? Say for example, I have a noun which is cat. Okay, I saw a cat. This is my, let me change the color so that you know that this is an example. I saw a cat. I can add an adjective form and I say I saw a black cat. Oops, this keyboard is difficult to use. This black becomes an adjective. I saw a black cat. Okay. Likewise, the cat is running. This running is verb. Whenever you have a verb, there will also be a tense. If there is an action, there needs to be a time for the action. Alright. The cat is running. Running is a verb. The cat is running. Answer these kind of questions, you need to have a good grip on your parts of speech. That's why since 2 months I had been saying please practice, 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 practice. Please speak as much as possible. Please write. If you did not do that, all of a sudden you cannot learn. I can go very slow, but when I covered parts of speech, when I covered grammar, my question is, did you practice at that point of time? If you did not practice, please get started now. You need to practice a lot. Buy the book Wren and Martin. Grammar, now if you say that you are from Telugu medium, that's why you're finding it difficult, I'm sorry, I don't agree with you. Even if you are from Telugu medium, you had one subject English throughout your life. Are you reading English for the first time in your life? Definitely not. You always had English, you learned grammar, you just need to understand it better. That time you read it from exam point of view, now you need to use it from your life skills point of view. Clear? Let's move on. Next question. The drama had many scenes which were so humorous that it was hardly possible to keep a straight face. What do you mean by keeping a straight face? Keep a straight face means not to laugh. Okay? Humorous means funny. The drama had many scenes which was so humorous that it was hardly possible to keep a straight face. The options: hardly possible for keeping, hardly impossible for keeping. Now, what does it mean? People kept laughing. It was difficult for them to hold on to the laughter. That is what it means. The correct option here, no correction required, because the sentence itself is accurate. It was hardly possible to keep a straight face means it was hardly possible not to laugh. When you have a word like hard, it has a different meaning. When you add something else like hardly, for example, I will give you another example here. I have a word hard. Hardly. The meaning of the word hard could be strong, rigid, muscular. It can be anything, right? So let's take strong and rigid as an example's sake right now. Hardly means barely, or it's not happening also. Okay. Now let me give you examples. He works hard. Okay. Now if I say he hardly works, now first sentence means he is a hard working person. He works hard means he is very strong, he is very rigid, and in this context he is very dedicated. He works hard. You should always work hard. But when I say he hardly works, that means he is not working at all. Just because I add ly, the meaning of the word changes. For example, I have the word confidence, confidential. Confidence is different, confidential is different. Some people may think that it's the same expansion. For example, I have the word update. Please update all the details. Sir, I cannot update the details because the updation process or the updation coding is not done. Unfortunately, there is no word called updation. It's just update. It does not even exist in English dictionary. But in India, we use the word. Alright. The point that I am trying to make is when you have words like this, hardly, it means it's not happening at all. People are not able to keep a straight face, and obviously they are laughing because the drama is humorous. You need to have a strong knowledge on your vocabulary. You need to have strong knowledge on the meaning of the words, also in terms of the context. The context is very, very important. When you understand the context of the entire sentence, you will obviously have to improve on the vocabulary. The same word can be used in different sense and it will give you a different meaning. So you got to be very careful. All right. Next, now again we have the word hardly. Hardly does the sun rise when the stars disappear. Hardly does the sun rise when the stars disappear. I will give you the time so that you can read, you can understand. I am not going to answer this. You can read, understand and answer. All right. Hardly does the sun rise means the sun does not rise at all when the stars disappeared. So hardly have the sun rose, had the sun risen, Did the sun rose? The sun rose. No correction required. Obviously, B is the correct answer. The sun has risen. It's not rose, risen. In this particular context, it says hardly had the sun risen, means the sun did not even rise when the stars disappeared, because it's a early morning time. Next, you will not be late if you do not leave now. You will, sorry, I'm so sorry, I read it wrong. You will be late. You will be late if you do not leave now. Does that look accurate? Let's see. You will be late if you did not leave now. You will be late if you left now. You will be late if you will leave now. You will be late if you do not happen to leave now. Such a long sentence. This is a very, very easy one. You should be able to answer looking at the screen. I will leave this here so that you can read and understand. You will be late if you do not leave now. That's the correct answer. The sentence is grammatically accurate. No changes required. All right. Going on to the next one. The lines are open, so you can call and ask your questions. The train will leave at 8:30 p.m. We have been ready by 7:30 p.m. so that we can reach the station in time. I have already explained the in time factor, though in time does not have any correction here, but one important aspect in terms of in time and on time, there is a difference. When should we use in time and when should we use on time? If somebody can call and give me the answer with example, that person will get a gift. Yesterday somebody had called from St. Joseph College. I forgot her name. I'm still waiting for the email. I promised you, if you give a correct answer, you will get a gift. The same thing applies for this also. I'm going to write this up. Difference between in time versus on time. Can somebody give me the answer? What is the difference between in time and out time? On time? You need to call, give me the answer with example. If your answer is correct, you will get a gift, and that's a promise. So I'm going to wait for 5 to 10 seconds. If we get a call, we will go ahead. Otherwise, obviously, it's a lost opportunity for you. Difference between in time and on time. Okay, do we have a call? No calls. All right, so nobody wants to call. Let's see. In time basically means before time but not too early. On time means right at the scheduled time. Just bear with me, I use a keyboard which I am not used to. I find it very difficult to use. What do I mean by this? Say for example, you have to go for a meeting. The meeting starts at 9 a.m. Okay? So if it's in time means you will reach at 8:45 a.m. If it's on time, you will reach at 9 a.m. That's the difference. Okay? In time means before time but not too early. That doesn't mean that you will reach for the meeting at 5:45. No. 10 minutes or 15 minutes before the time. On time means exactly at the time when it's supposed to happen. That's the difference between in time and on time. Now let's look at this question. The train will leave at 8:30 p.m. We have been ready by 7:30 p.m. so that we can reach the station in time, means a little before the time. Do we need a correction here? We were ready by 7:30 p.m. We must be ready by 7:30 p.m. We are ready by 7:30 p.m. We should have ready. Now if I use should have, I also use been. Now been is not here, we should have been ready. Now look at the first sentence, it says the train will leave, that means it's future tense. That's why must be is the correct answer. I am setting a rule. The train will leave at 8:30 p.m. We must be ready by 7:30 p.m. Means this is going to happen, and that's why. When I say should have, that means it's past tense. We are means present tense. We were means obviously present as a past tense again. So these are the areas that you need to pay attention to, understand the context, understand the tense form and the verb form. Alright, next question. Ramesh is as tall, if not taller than Mahesh. What does that mean? Ramesh is as tall, if not taller than Mahesh. The corrections are Ramesh is not as tall but taller than Mahesh. Ramesh is not so tall but as taller than Mahesh. Ramesh is as tall as, if not taller than Mahesh. Ramesh is as if not taller than Mahesh. Option D is absolutely incorrect. It's a grammatically absolutely incorrect statement. Does not make sense at all. You need to read this and you need to understand what it actually means and then answer. Ramesh is as tall, if not taller than Mahesh. The correct answer is Ramesh is as tall as, if not taller than Mahesh. Basically it means both are of similar height. That is what it means. Okay. Next, he hesitated to listen to what his brother was saying. He hesitated to listen to what his brother was saying. The options: he listened to hesitate, he hesitated to listen to, option B is he hesitated listen to, he hesitates listening to, he is hesitated to listen to. Option D is incorrect obviously, option A is also incorrect. So you need to choose between B, C and E. He hesitated to listen to what his brother was saying. This is absolutely accurate sentence. We don't really need any kind of correction. The reason is he hesitated to. When you hesitate, the hesitate has to something. I am hesitating to go, I am hesitating to speak, I am hesitating to eat. When I say hesitate, it should be followed by the word to, followed by a verb. Okay. Here in this case the verb is listen, and when I have listen it should be followed by to. I want to listen to music, I want to listen to my teacher, I want to listen to my trainer. So he hesitated to listen to what his brother was saying. That's why this is an accurate sentence. We don't really need any kind of correction. Clear? Next, the prosecution failed in establish in every case today. Now the sentence itself is incorrect. It does not make any sense. The prosecution failed in establish in every case today. The prosecution failed to establish in every case today. The prosecution failed on establish. The prosecution failed as establish. The prosecution failed upon establish. No correction required. And the correct answer is 2. We always fail to do something. We don't fail in. I have failed in my exam. I have failed in succeeding my exam, but I failed to succeed in my exam. Okay, so failed. Now, why am I saying to instead of in? Because if you look at the question, failed is a verb, establish is also a verb. It's not a noun. If it's a noun, for example, the prosecution failed in the case is noun, then you can use in. Establish is a verb. When you have a verb, you need to have a to before that. For example, he failed to participate in the debate. He failed to attend the interview. He did not even reach. That is what it means. Alright? Next, one of my drawbacks is that I do not have to tolerance of ambiguity. Ambiguity means vague, something which is not clear. One of my drawback is that I do not have to. When you say do not have to, it's incorrect because the next word is tolerance. It's a noun. For example, I do not have patience or I do not have to patience. What do we say? I do not have patience or I do not have to patience. Have to you don't use, right? So that's why it's incorrect. What is the correct form? Let's look at it. One of my drawback is that I do not have tolerance of ambiguity. Drawbacks is that I cannot have tolerance. I am not tolerance. Now tolerance is a noun. If I use tolerant, then I can say I am not tolerant. I did not have to is also incorrect. A is the correct answer. One of the drawbacks is that I do not have tolerance of ambiguity. If something is not clear, I cannot accept it. That is what it means. Okay. Do we still have questions? No questions so far? Okay. I am going to take few more examples. The easiest, let's look at the question. The easiest of the things to do is to ask the address to the postman. The easiest of the things to do, thing. The easiest of the thing to do is to ask the address to the postman. The options are the easiest of the things to do, the easiest among the things did, that is not right. The easiest of the thing to be done, obviously it's not right. The easiest of all the things done, that is also not right. The correct answer is the easiest of the things to do. Why am I doing it? I'll show you an example. I'm sorry. Why do I say, so here in the question I had thing and I had things. Now I'll give you an example and explain why things is the correct answer. Okay, let's look at it. He is one of the best singer in Vizag. Okay, this is statement number 1 and this is statement number 2. So let's be little gender tolerant. So here we go. She is one of the best singer in Vizag, or she is one of the best singers in Vizag. Which one is the correct answer? I have two sentences here. Sentence number 1, she is one of the best singer in Vizag. Statement number 2, she is one of the best singers in Vizag. Which one is the correct sentence? Can somebody answer? Looks like nobody is interested to call today. Do we have a call? No call. Okay. Imagine I'll just try to illustrate as much as possible. Okay, I'm doing all this to help you understand. Okay, so here we go. So I have 8 singers in Vizag, and of all these singers, I am saying she is one of the best singer. Probably I am talking about this person. So let me change the color so that you can easily understand. Okay, she is one of the best singer in Vizag. Second option, she is one of the best singers in Vizag. I am talking about she. This is my keyword. This is singular, one person only. She is the best, one of the best, I am saying she is one of the best singers, because I am picking one from the plural. I am picking a singular from the plural. That's why I will say she is one of the best singers in Vizag, because singers is plural, she is singular, so this is the singular form, singers is from this entire group. The same logic applies on the question as well. The easiest of all the thing to do, there are lots of things, there are 5 to 6 things that you can do, but the easiest means the most easy, there will be only one from many things. That's why option A is the correct answer. The easiest of all the things to, let's have the slide, I am talking about the slide. Let's have, we have a call. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
మీరు ఇప్పుడు చెప్పారు కదండి ఆప్షన్స్ సింగర్ది షీ ఈజ్ సింగర్ అని సెకండ్ ఆప్షన్.
Yes, ma'am. What is the question?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. What is your question?
One of the best singers in Vizag. That is correct.
Correct.
Second option is correct.
Correct.
Thank you.
That is the correct answer. Yes, sir. Do you have a question or you're confirming, sir?
Okay.
Okay. So thank you so much. Okay. So looking at that example, obviously the easiest of the things to do is to ask address to the postman, because the postman will also will always know the correct address. Moving on to the next question. We demonstrated to them how we were prepared the artistic pattern. Now when I say we were prepared, that means I am preparing myself, but here it's talking about preparing the artistic patterns. Okay. So the question is, we demonstrated to them how we were prepared, how we are prepared, how we have prepared, how we are preparing, or how we had prepared. So had is the correct answer, because if you say we were prepared, for example, we are prepared to face the situation, that means I am preparing myself. But here the preparation is done not for the person but for the artistic pattern. I will use the had form because I start with we demonstrated, which is a past tense. Since it's a past tense, I will use had prepared. Clear? Next question. Because of his mastery in this field, his suggestions are wide accepted. It cannot be wide accepted, it's widely accepted. It's exactly like hard and hardly. Widely accepted because it's an adjective, adverb. Accept is the verb, widely is adverb. So I need to use an adverb. If I say wide, it's not an adverb, it becomes an adjective. So I need an adjective, I don't need an adjective here, I need an adverb here. One last question for today. They felt humiliated because they realized that they had cheated. Now the statement means they felt humiliated means they felt bad because they realized they had cheated. They felt bad because they cheated someone. No, they felt bad and miserable because they were cheated. Somebody cheated them. That is what it means. So the correct option is they had been cheated. They felt humiliated because they realized they had been cheated. Clear? So likewise you will see tons of lot of questions on the tool. Please take up the mock assessment for Infosys, guys. I am going to show you one more time for your information. So I open, okay, I log into the tool. You will do so with your Aadhaar ID and password as the same. You go to assessment. For quantitative aptitude, there are 10 papers listed here, and for verbal ability there are 5 papers listed here. Okay, so please start taking the test, start doing practice. So I am going to verbal ability number 3, 40 questions that I need to answer in 30 minutes. The first one is my passage comprehension, 5 questions here. Sometimes there could be more questions. Here it says replace the italicized word with most appropriate word. For example, John, who studies medicine at present, hope to go abroad after graduation. Okay. So likewise there are a lot of questions, 40 questions in total. Once you finish writing it, click on submit assessment. The more you practice, the better for you. The more you practice, it will help you get speed, get accuracy, and understand what kind of questions will come. If you do not practice, if you do not work hard, nobody can ensure that you will clear Infosys. It's in your hand. So please make sure you give your best and practice a lot. I do want to tell you one thing, Infosys won't be easy, because so do you think Infosys is just like another company? No, it's one of the best company. And the best company needs the best people. That's what makes it a best company, right? So are you the best? You can be the best if you put your best efforts. So please go back, practice a lot. If you have questions, please do call and ask tomorrow. All right, tomorrow we'll look at theme detection. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys soon. Remember, you need to practice in order to succeed. Have a great evening. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.